Picture this: a frugal person. You're probably thinking of someone who never spends money, right? It's a common misconception that frugality means stinginess, but that's not quite accurate. Being frugal isn't about pinching pennies until they scream. It's about maximizing value, getting the most bang for your buck. It's about being thoughtful and mindful about where your money goes. So let's debunk some common myths about frugal living. First off, frugality doesn't mean you can't have fun. It's a common misconception that frugality puts chains on your wallet and stops you from enjoying life. But that's not the case. Frugality is not about restriction, but about making smart decisions. Think about it. Frugal folks still go on vacations. They still eat out at restaurants. The difference? They plan for it. They budget. They scout for deals. They might skip a few fancy lattes to save for that beach trip. They sometimes cook at home, more often to afford a night out at a special restaurant. Frugality is about value, not cost. It's about making choices that bring you the most joy and fulfillment without leaving you stressed about money. It's about living within your means, yet still living well. It's about prioritizing, making conscious decisions, and finding happiness in what you have. Frugality is not a restriction, it's a lifestyle choice. Secondly, frugality doesn't mean compromising on quality. Quite the contrary. It's about making smart decisions that bring lasting value. Imagine you're in the market for a new toaster. You could buy a cheap one that might break down in a year, or invest in a slightly more expensive, high-quality one that could last you a decade. Being frugal isn't about always choosing the cheaper option. It's about considering the long-term implications of your purchases. It's about understanding the difference between cost and value. It's about realizing that quality matters. Remember, a frugal person doesn't mind spending a bit more if it means the item will last longer, perform better, or offer more satisfaction. They understand that sometimes you get what you pay for. They're willing to invest in quality because they know it pays off in the long run. Remember, frugality is about value, not just cost. Thirdly, frugality is not just for those with low income. It's a common misconception that pinching pennies is only for those struggling to make ends meet. But let's debunk this fallacy right here, right now. Whether you're earning a 5-figure salary or a 7-figure windfall, frugality can be your ticket to financial independence. Think about this. By being prudent with your resources, regardless of how much you make, you're setting yourself up for a future that's less dependent on your next paycheck. The beauty of frugality is that it's not about survival, but rather about thriving. It's about making conscious decisions on what you spend your money on and finding joy and satisfaction in sustainable living. So, whether you're a millionaire entrepreneur or a fresh out of college employee, remember, frugality isn't bound by your income bracket. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, a strategy for financial freedom. Frugality is for everyone, regardless of income. Fourthly, frugality doesn't mean living in deprivation. A common misconception is that frugality is synonymous with deprivation. But let's clear the air here. Frugality is not about pinching every penny until it screams, nor is it about denying oneself the pleasures of life. It's about making thoughtful decisions and prioritizing our needs and wants. Consider this. A frugal person might decide to forego a daily cup of coffee from a high-end cafe, not because they're depriving themselves, but because they've decided to prioritize saving for a much-desired vacation. It's about trade-offs, not sacrifices. Frugal people do indulge. They treat themselves to their favorite meal, a movie, or a book they've been wanting to read. The difference lies in the approach. They indulge mindfully, savoring the experience rather than mindlessly consuming and moving on to the next thing. So remember, frugality is about mindful spending, not deprivation. It's about making the most out of what we have and finding joy in simplicity. Fifthly, frugality doesn't mean you can't be generous. In fact, it might surprise you to know that some of the most frugal people are also the most generous. They understand the value of things beyond their price tags. They're the ones who give their time, their skills, their knowledge, not just their money. They're the ones who would rather cook a heartfelt meal for a friend than buy an expensive gift that's quickly forgotten. They're the ones who would teach you how to fix your car rather than just paying for your repairs. They're the ones who understand that sharing their time and knowledge can be far more valuable than simply opening their wallets. So, if you thought frugality meant keeping everything to yourself, think again. They often give more than anyone else because they understand what truly matters. Frugality and generosity are not mutually exclusive. Sixthly, frugality is not about hoarding. Now, this one is a common misperception. People often confuse being frugal with hoarding every penny and possession. But it's essential to understand that frugality encourages mindful consumption. It's about making smart, intentional decisions about where to spend and where to save. Frugal folks understand that material possessions do not equate to happiness. They value experiences over possessions. They would rather invest in a memorable trip or a skill-building class than clutter their homes with items they don't need. Frugality discourages hoarding because hoarding stems from a place of fear, a fear of not having enough. But frugality operates from a place of confidence, knowing that you have enough because you've managed your resources wisely. So, let's clear this up once and for all. Frugality is not about accumulating stuff. It's about appreciating what you have and understanding the true value of things. Frugality is about appreciating what you have, not hoarding more. Lastly, frugality is not a temporary phase. It's a misconception that the frugal life is a band-aid solution for a financial hiccup. It's not a quick fix, a diet to shed off those extra pounds of debt. Nor is it a trend that you hop onto, then drop when the next big thing comes along. No, my friends, frugality is a lifestyle choice, a long-term commitment that can lead to a more fulfilling life. It's about cultivating a mindset of resourcefulness and mindfulness. It's about making the most of what you have and finding joy in simplicity. It's about appreciating the value of things, not just their price tags. It's about making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. It's about understanding that every choice has a cost and being smart about what you're willing to pay for. In essence, frugality is a journey, not a destination. It's a path that can lead you to financial freedom, peace of mind, and a life that's rich in more ways than one. So, we've debunked some common misconceptions about frugal living. It's not restrictive, it's not about poor quality, and it's not just for the poor. It doesn't mean living in deprivation. It doesn't mean lack of generosity, and it's certainly not hoarding. It's a lifestyle, not a temporary phase. It's about making mindful decisions and finding value in every aspect of life. Now, here's a question for you. What's your perception of frugality? Comment below. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Check out my next video that YouTube suggests, and I'll see you on the other side.